Hi, I'm really pleased to be here with someone I just recently met. I think we met about a week and a half ago, Karl Pearsall. You are the guy, the founder of the Yes Group that lots of people have. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
So you know that you're famous. Lots of people, right, will have heard of the Yes Group, or maybe sometimes gone along to the Yes Group, but may not necessarily seen your face. So it's quite nice. So, world, here is Karl.
Yeah. Thank you, and thank you for inviting me for the interview.
Oh, it's a real pleasure. Nice. No, it's a real pleasure. Well, we met, and I really like the energy of where it is that you're coming from, because I've heard a little bit about the Yes Group, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about it. But I knew it was a personal development inspired meeting of minds where you have speakers and so on. I'd heard a little bit about it. I'd heard that it was kind of inspired. I don't know. I'm going to ask you what was the story. I'd heard that it was inspired by Tony Robbins type of workshops and so on. You can tell me here because you're the man.
Thanks, Rasheed.
How did it emerge?
Well, it was sort of by accident. I was going through a period in my life where I was seeking something, some change. Some things needed to change in me and my mind, and I needed to move on from where I was at.
Right.
And I could really do with finding some new friends, role models.
Don't worry about that. They're just telling us that the reading. Yeah. It's a message from beyond.
Someone, yeah. So it was fantastic to go to the Tony Robbins event, and I got in there by accident.
Yeah.
If anything happens like this for accident, synchronicities came to pass, and I was invited there to help out.
Yeah.
And when I went there, I met some amazing people, and I just thought I could really do with some more people like this in my life.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, so I'm going to invite a few friends together, and hopefully we can maybe get some of these people that talk about some of these ideas, such as NLP and
neuro-linguistic programming, for people who may not have heard of it.
And these other ideas, we can get some people to come and teach us some stuff.
Right.
Study it together.
So that's it. So you've been on this this event, and you thought, well, hang on a minute, this will be interesting. Let's see if we can get some. And then how did it evolve from there?
So we had a first meeting. I was feeling a little bit uncomfortable because I wasn't really into the idea of standing in front of an audience and talking. I was just there to bring us together, and ultimately I became more of a facilitator for it, and we decided to meet every month. And we gave it the name, the Yes Group. That was one of our first jobs, was to come up with a name for who are we, what we're doing. And there was a lady in the audience, I remember Beres Becker, and she said, let's call it the Yes Group. And I was like, yes, yes, because Tony always talks about being positive and saying yes, and he has a visual imagery. Everyone sees him on stage doing this whoa clap, going, yes. And when you do this walk on hot coals, a lot of people have heard about walking on hot coals with Tony. When you walk on hot coals, you're going, yes, yes, I'm going to do this. So yes seemed to be the right name. And then she said, it stands for Your Excellence Succeeds. And we were all like, that sounds good. So that's sort of one of the best kept secrets of the Yes Group. Now you know.
Yes,
it stands for Your Excellence Succeeds. And from that day, we've met every month. And we're now in our 20th year, looking at our 20th anniversary next year. Yeah,
fantastic. Well, first of all, congratulations on that, because I think it's one thing to be inspired by something, it's another thing to necessarily take action on it, and I think that's what's really remarkable. So tell me, you said a little bit about you were looking for a point that, something needed to change in your life and connecting with people and so on. So what was the lead up to that? What was going on? What led you to want to go on this personal development kind of path? Because I guess this will resonate with lots of people who are watching this. Some people are kind of feeling stuck. Some people know what they want or whatever. What was going on?
I was definitely stuck, and I was definitely in a rut. I'd come from a situation where 18 months before I went to that event, I'd finished with a career, and that career was promoting nightclubs and nightclub events. And I was well known in that environment for putting on parties, and I'd become, by most people's standards at the time, very successful and started to turn over a lot of money. But I'd got to the end of a sort of period with that, and I'd worked really hard, and I'd become burnt out. So physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I was feeling very in sense of lack. So I went to core, and I got into a sort of spiritual zone, and that led me to from the sort of spiritual zone, looking at myself, to thinking, right, I need to, something's got to shift me, and doing that fire walk and meeting all these high energy people just gave me enough momentum to get back into thinking about doing some new things, and inspired me to move forward. So the Yes Group's been a great source of inspiration and a great source of growth for me because of the people I've met along the way, and ultimately through the years we've had all these amazing people come and speak in the Yes Group, and I've been able to connect with them and learn from them, and
What's one of the things that strikes me? It strikes me now, and it struck me when we just met the other week ago. Is that, I mean, you've been on Interesting Jokes. It's been 20 years you've been in this whole world, but there's something very ordinary and authentic about you. And when I'm looking for people to interview, I always look for that. In people, it's very, very important. There's something really just earnest, and you seem to have a little. Obviously, I didn't know you 20 years ago. Probably wasn't born, but I was very young. You were very young at the time. But I get the feeling that there's something of that essence of who you were then that remains there still. You know, it's very easy for people to have a lot of ego or be on a pedestal and all in this kind of thing. But you just seem like a really ordinary person, and there's a lovely humility to you. Do people say that to you often?
Yeah. I think it's because I had a massive ego, and
Did you? Is it true? Did you?
I had a big ego. I think that when I hit that spiritual zone, I focused on dissolving that.
Yeah.
And personal development helped me and gave me some tools to empower me and to recognise that. So I sort of feel more me now than ever, and I built this persona up over the years of being successful and having probably too much money too young.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about a couple of things. I can see you've got your book here. Let's wave it to the world. What's this? The Power of Masterminding, How to Soar and Succeed Effortlessly. Aha. So this is a handful of experts. I think I've met Mac Atram before. I don't know about the others, but tell us in a nutshell, what's this all about?
It's been published about 6 years ago, and it's a marking time. We were at the Yes Group, and some people said, I'd like a smaller group to work with, because at the time we were getting many hundreds of people come every month to the Yes Group in London. There are many different Yes Groups around the country, but the one in London had several hundred people coming at the time, and people wanted something a bit smaller. So we created a couple of mastermind groups. This particular mastermind group was just friends of mine, and ultimately two of them left very successfully, got married and moved the countries, and we decided we wanted to share that. So the idea comes from Think and Grow Rich, the book, and Napoleon Hill. And we took that concept, because it didn't tell you how to do it, and we basically self-modelled ourselves. So we produced a model where we could now share that. So we promote the concept, we train people, and we help and facilitate them finding and running a successful group by talking about the mindset, the skill sets, and the process that we've developed to run effectively, because there's lots of ways of messing it up.
And I think for those people who aren't interested, who are interested or don't know about masterminding, it's interesting. The idea is that, as you say, you get a group of people together, and the power when you get those group of people together on to focus on whatever is really powerful, be it personally, be it professionally, or whatever. It's
great for entrepreneurs. It's great for people starting a business. You get to know each other well. It can be a personal issue, it can be a business issue, but you're there to support each other, you're there to collaborate and be a leverage point, and that's something that I've really highly valued, and I have mastermind groups today, and I'm a big advocate of them. Yeah,
and I think the great thing is you can just do it. You don't need loads of money or whatever. You can just do it. You can just do it with that. And I think that often people aren't resourceful enough. I want to talk to you a little bit about the personal development world and what you make of it, because you've been around in it for a long time. You've seen the great, the bad, the ugly, and all the rest of it. And so what's your take on where we are in terms of personal development? Because I imagine it's changed hugely. When you started, it probably was a new thing way over there, particularly in the UK. Obviously, it's been established in the States for far longer. So what kind of changes have you seen, and where would you say we're at right now?
It's an interesting question. Thanks for asking. I've got different perspectives on it, and the positive side is that it's become mainstream. Yeah. And I think that's a really great thing. Yeah. Some of the vehicles that are out there promoting it on a commercial basis offer more value than others. But if it introduces people to personal development, that's a good thing. Yeah. I wanted to say that. I think there's a promise to a lot of people that they can have a business in personal development, and anything's possible, and yes, they can. I think sometimes it's a bit oversold to them in terms of you do this two weekend course and you can become a life coach. Yeah. It takes a lot of commitment, a lot of focus, and a lot of personal development on yourself to be able to be a role model and to learn the skill sets to really make a difference in other people's lives. Yeah. I'm an advocate of leadership. I think that it's a skill set for the 21st century. I'm really passionate about promoting that, and when I go along to open up new Yes groups around the country and further afield now in other countries, I'm always one to say, you know, we all lead our lives, so let's lead our lives and learn the skill sets and grow. I think also that personal development, in some ways, a lot of people are there talking about wealth creation, and for me, it's much more holistic than that.
Yeah, quite right.
We have a spiritual side, an emotional side, a physical side, mental side, and
couldn't agree with you more. Actually, I think it's a really interesting point, isn't it? You know, that and because personal development is different things for different people. People walk through that path for different reasons. One person is they're at that point, okay, who am I, why am I here? Other people, it's that they're wanting to move ahead in their career. Other people, yes, they're wanting to perhaps set up a business or whatever. And so for it just to be seen as like it's just about wealth creation is a bit limiting, you know.
So we have our health, we have our relationships, and we have our career and money and success. And, you know, most people like to have material things and a better lifestyle. And I'm you know, money is going to support in that. So, you know, it's a good thing. I just don't think we should lose sight of what the origins are, and what the for me the core of it is about how we feel about ourselves and how happy we are.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah, the self. You know, for me, I really like that whole thing about the self. You know, the self, and what is the self? You know, for some people, that self is a real spiritual. Who am I? And for some people, it's okay. Where am I personally at? And to lose that, which is actually at the core, is kind of silly. I want to ask you a little bit about. So the 20th anniversary coming up. You don't look old enough, sir. And the Yes group here in the UK, various branches you had, and you're taking that worldwide. So what's the plan? So what are you up to now? What is the plan?
Thanks for asking. I mean, the vision I have for Yes Group for me now, after all those years of it, it's almost like a selfish endeavour in the beginning, has become more of a legacy thing for me, and I have a passion for making a difference. That's my driver, and the concepts, the mission behind that drives me now is a world where everybody has access to a peer group that inspires them to grow and contribute.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah.
And you know what we're looking to do with that is to build systems so that we can roll out the Yes Group worldwide. We have a very successful Yes Group in Sweden, and we've had other successful groups in other countries, and we have a lot of support from around the world because Tony Robbins is a global leader, and people, you know, he's got like 2 million people following him on Twitter. People all over the world.
Is Tony? On that note, because you mentioned him, is he? Because things have been inspired by him.
Yes.
Are you in touch with him? Is he a big supporter of what it is that you do, or has he just said, you know, well done, mate? And so I'm just curious to know.
Yeah, I mean, Tony doesn't endorse the Yes Group, and you know, thanks for bringing that up. So I wanted to be clear about that. I mean, we have all these trainers come and talk at Yes Group. We've had his son Jerry Robbins come over for the 15-year anniversary. We're hoping he's going to come for the 20th. He's not booked yet, but in principle, we saw him a couple of months ago. He likes the idea of that, and the group isn't a Tony Robbins group. It's a much more of a broader sense of a very inclusive organisation that understands, respects that personal development is different for everybody, and therefore it is very diverse, and therefore, you know, we like to create to show that on the stage. So we have our goals around the 20-year anniversary about having, you know, an event similar to we had for the 15-year anniversary with about 250 people, a day of education, a night of celebration, and we've had lots of wonderful people from the personal development environment providing that entertainment, which meant you know, we had people providing raw food, cakes and stuff, and just beautiful day of being non-commercial, if you like, because the Yes Group is a volunteer organisation. I don't make money from that. It's really something that I've always done from a place of growth and contribution.
And that's really interesting, isn't it? You were saying about this legacy and providing everyone with peer group, in fact it's voluntary. I think that's really, really powerful. I think that's really powerful, and it's a lovely juxtapose to things where you're saying that lots of people might look and this whole interesting thing, it's just about wealth creation. It's great that it might be about that for some people, but it's just first and foremost there for people and for them to connect and so on. So you talked about legacy. So what would you like, when all's said and done about you, or you know, and what you do, what would you like that legacy to be? You know, what would you like people to say ultimately about what you did and what you contributed?
Wow, okay, that's a powerful question. I'm not really sure if I have the answer for that, but I think ultimately I'm doing it because I want to make a difference. So I'm personally satisfied with that. And people can say what they want. And I'm really there to, I'll be satisfied when there's 1,000 Yes groups worldwide, and there's one in every major city, and we're all super connected.
That's wonderful.
And we have a system in place to really deliver value for everybody. And that's what I really think is absolutely possible.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm really wishing you all the best with that. I just want to ask very quickly, what kind of stuff have people, I bet you already that people must say amazing things. I've no doubt. What kind of stuff do people say to you about the impact that you've had? Either you personally or anything. I don't want to embarrass you, but I'm sure people. You know.
Well, I just had 2 messages on Facebook in the last week that have really impacted me. Actually, one was from, we just launched Yes Group Newcastle this week, and I had a very long message about how it instantly changed someone's life, and they were so grateful, and I was like, that's the reason I do it. You know, that's right. Yeah. You can't buy that.
No, you can't.
And
no, you can't.
I had another message from someone who found me on Facebook from when I was promoting nightclubs, and she said, "Oh, it's fantastic what you're doing right now. I remember you said something like, I remember you walking up to me and asking me to dance on the dance floor." I'm like, I did, where's it go? And she said to me, "You gave me one piece of advice which I've used all through my life, and it's always worked. I've always got the job in the interview." And now I'm trying to figure out what I said, and I've got to ask her. You know, that's a beautiful thing, to be acknowledged for something before I actually found personal development. It was part of me, and I really that really gave me a sense of I'm on the right track.
Yeah,
still.
And that shines through. I just want to wish you all the best with all the work that you're doing and so on. I just think it sounds fantastic. And I'd never been along to the Yes Group, but I'd heard about it very early on in my career, and there was always something there that I might be there or thereabouts that I might go along to.
Well, I'm sure you will, and I'm sure you'll speak there. I've got this feeling that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I've been so spooky that as it's been in the psyche, and here we meet. But I've been really so impressed, because for me, who somebody is and that the ethos behind something is so important. So it's really nice when you meet somebody who and the ethos of what that organisation is about, that person absolutely embodies. So I just want to wish you all the best in the 20th year, and I hope that you continue inspiring people and providing that way, and that people can find themselves on this wonderful journey to be who they are. So thank you very much, and
that's brilliant.
I'm going to leave you to smile at the camera as I turn it off, and thank you very much.
Brilliant, thank you. And I hope you've all enjoyed the session today, and look forward to more of Rasheed's fantastic friends and people he invites in.